Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to sort of just veer a little bit from the purely scientific research models because I haven't got it on hand. So I'm going to talk and then I would refer you to specific further reading and the many scientific papers that are available. I'm Arien van der Merwe. I'm an integrative medical practitioner from Pretoria and also Cape Town, and I focus a lot on weight control and then specifically metabolic syndrome with, I'm sure you all know the symptoms, but then adding to that depression, which is a key factor. I refer you back to a previous slide to actually show again there the treatment gap between behavior modification and then behavior modification plus surgery, and then that was filled here, what's called the treatment gap. I want to change that a little bit or adjust it to preferably call it the breaching gap. It's something we can bridge and we've got to add to that because this is not the whole picture. So if we breach the gap, we will look at integration, an integrative model, which is the new tendency if you're not in an academic situation but in private practice mostly. There's a huge drive for integration. Then I'm going to talk a little bit more about epigenetic restructuring. We will touch on specific eating guidelines because you cannot do a one-size-fits-all, and it ties in with the epigenetic side. Then food is medicine, which is what father of Western medicine Hippocrates said many years ago. We will look at some of the exercises, just an adaptation to what we can do, and then the mental emotional aspect, which is crucial to understand why some people has fat as a protection. What is fat? It's not the enemy. Fat is a very deep drive. If you're stuck in a desert or you're stuck in snow, how many of us will survive? Those of us who've got our stored energy, mostly around our abdomens, but we are going to really outlast the thinnies. So we must stop making fat the enemy and understand the deeper mental, emotional, even moving into psychospiritual reasons, why some people hold fat for protection. And then looking at group support, which is with all our chronic diseases of lifestyle, which we've, I think, all agreed, obesity is one, is group support is highly effective in an integrative management. Now I'm going to take a few steps back and I'm going to show you a little bit, and I mean with epigenetics, I'm just giving you a teaser to hopefully encourage you to read, to just study a bit more, because even from my own perspective, we can become stuck in a way of thinking. And we keep on, like those of us who can still remember LPs, long playing records, you know, when they get worn out from playing the same favorite song over and over. Now our belief system, our brain networks can get stuck in that. So we've got to stand back. We know weight maintenance or weight loss maintenance is a huge challenge. One thing that we can maybe consider is not to look only at BMI, but to include body composition analysis. Because for people who are really trying their utmost, and they're stuck with the weight, it's not dropping. If you look at their body impedance and their body composition, you often see they've actually lost a lot of fat, but they've been exercising, because if you encourage people with the right exercises and fun exercises, they change muscle mass, they make more muscle literally, and they're losing fat, but on the scale, if you just use a one-dimensional measuring tool, it will stay the same. So that's one thing. Then if we look at epigenetics, I don't know how many of you, can you show me a hand, how many of you have actually studied epigenetics? It's a huge new field of medicine, especially when you look at quantum medicine and quantum research. There are thousands of articles. Now, if we look at the epi means above, so it's more important than genes. If we do genetic screening, for instance, you find why some people do not do well on a low-carb diet or on a low-carb and high-fat, which has become popular diet. But they mustn't have the high-fat, saturated fat, but rather have the healthy fat, which should be the worst. That genetics can actually show us. So we then understand why some people do not do well. So you can't have a one-size-fits-all for any weight control program. But then very important to understand also that the ligand that binds to the receptor on the cell membrane sends the message to the gene, not the other way around. So we all sort of theorize about it and we know it, but in practical, this is a huge area of hope. So no matter what the genetic predisposition is, if we change the environment, this would be secondary. Now, of course, we know oxygen, breathing, water, nutrients, micronutrients, but very important, the emotional aspect, mental, emotional, and then that would go into psycho-spiritual. Even when we look at liraglutide, the glucagon-like peptide that binds specifically, we can change that through positivity and positive emotions. Behavior modification, there isn't one perfect way. We've got to look at it integratively. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.